The estate of Laura Cummings has filed a lawsuit claiming Erie County failed to protect her from the chronic abuse that led to her death in North Collins. Call for Action's Al Vaughters has the latest.
Laura Cummings was beaten and tortured in this house of horrors for years until her horrendous murder last January. The tragic and attorneys for her family contend that could have been avoided.
We think that there were red flags along the way, and a lot of them, and now we're going to be able to investigate them.
Terry Connors is the attorney for Laura Cummings' estate and says Erie County officials had a duty and responsibility to protect the 23-year-old mentally and physically challenged woman from her mother, Eva Cummings, who pled guilty to her murder, and Cummings' half-brother, Luke Wright, who's charged with sodomy and rape.
Our claim really is very simple. There were a lot of opportunities along the way to prevent this horrible torture, damage, and sexual abuse, and ultimately her death.
County caseworkers did investigate claims of abuse, but were denied entry into the home. And the lawsuit charges the workers could have, but failed to contact police to gain entry or try to get a search warrant, failed to remove Laura Cummings from her abusive home or question her away from her abusers. County Executive Chris Collins declined to comment on the allegation.
We can't even comment whether this was our case. We're very much restricted by state law in what we can disclose.
But Collins' Social Services Commissioner has said lawmakers have to ease the burden of proof for adult protection workers to contact police.
And say to them, I believe there's someone in this household who I reasonably suspect may be at risk, and then it would allow law enforcement to go into the home based on that reasonable suspicion as opposed to the current standard of probable cause.
Why stand on these kinds of formalities when people's lives are at stake, literally?
State lawmakers have been investigating the North Collins tragedy and are now drafting legislation they believe will give caseworkers the tools necessary to crack down on adult abuse. Terry Connors contends county officials already had what they needed to save Laura Cummings' life, but failed. Al Vaughters, News 4 at 6.